like to schedule a one-on-one anytime during this presentation, please look for the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of the presentation on most of the slides, and you can get your or you can set up your appointment with one of our United Benefits representatives. So FERS eligibility, we have the MRA plus 30 to be fully eligible, 60 with 20 and 62 with 5. And of course that MRA can be any age between 55 and 57 depending on your year of birth. And so if you're not familiar with that, we will have a guidebook that you can download at the end of the session, which is going to have the MRA chart, a pay chart, and some additional questions for you to ask yourself, so that way you can better prepare for retirement and also the appointment that you'll be having with your United Benefits representative. For those of you who have transferred to the FERS program, you will also have to meet these eligibility rules in order to qualify for retirement. So if you were a CSRS employee and then you transferred into the FERS program, and during those open seasons and 98 or 89, those different years, then just keep in mind that you will have to meet these rules and not the CSRS rules. Okay, so special provision employees, these are law enforcement officers, air traffic controllers, customs and border protection officers, firefighters, those kinds of employees. They will have to meet a little bit less of those age and service year requirements, just due naturally to the position and the strenuous activity that job requires. And so there's typically a mandatory retirement age, which is 56 for air traffic controllers, 57 for law enforcement officers, customs and border protection, and firefighters. And all of those employees do have to meet 20 years in a covered position, and that's contributing to the retirement system at a higher percentage rate than you were if you were a regular federal employee. So just keep that in mind. Of course, the Voluntary Early Retirement Authority happened this year, and that was when the DOGE or DRP happened. So that was the fork in the road at the beginning of last year that was offered. The date was provided by the agency, and with that, of course, it lessened the age and service year requirements, similar to the special provision employees, where you had to have 50 years of age with 20 years of service, or you could be any age with 25 years of service. However, there was some other nuances that you may not have known, which we'll jump into a little bit later. Disability retirement for those FERS employees with at least 18 months of service. However, there are some rules that you have to qualify for with a disability retirement as well. And then also deferred retirement. So anybody who has 5 years vested in the FERS program can retire with a deferred retirement, not meeting the age requirement. However, there's benefits that you lose to that. And so we have to be really careful that we are, if you are looking at using the federal benefits in retirement, then we're meeting a different qualifying rule there to make sure that you can go ahead and keep those benefits. And so another type of retirement for FERS is MRA plus 10. This is where you've met your minimum retirement age, which is again that 57 or 55 to 57 age, and you have 10 years of service, but not quite the 30 years to fully retire with an unreduced pension. So you can have a reduced pension benefit, or you can postpone and delay that pension, avoid the reduction, but then there's still some nuances with how that coordinates with the benefits. So we do want to make sure that you understand what that looks like for your specific situation if you are considering that type of retirement.